Welcome, everyone. This is Polyphenols, and you're listening to LOTRO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news of LOTRO and here at LOTRO Players. And this week we have with us Terry Edwin
Hi,
and Sanswinda.
Hello.
And please welcome our special guests for tonight, Guerendis
Hello.
and Calabathian.
Hello.
Hello there. And tonight we are going to start out with a special ritual that we have, and that is by asking our guests a couple of questions. We'll start with Guerendis. And Guerendis, how did you get into Tolkien and Lord of the Rings and LOTRO, and then eventually the LOTRO community?
Well, I got into Tolkien because the movies came out when I was still in single digits, and I hardly ever got to see movies out. So instead, my grandmother felt bad for me and bought me all the books. So at the age of 8, I read The Hobbit, and at the age of 10, I started Lord of the Rings and finished it within a year's time, and I have never looked back. As far as LOTRO goes, I saw a podcast on my podcasting app about the Tolkien professor, and one thing led to another, and it lit streams. And then I caught Girls of Middle Earth, and I decided, this looks really fun. I kind of want to get into this game. And as far as the community itself, I actually knew somebody from where I worked that had started a kin a long time ago when the game first started. So I pretty much had a kin right away.
Cool. All right. Anything else you wish to add?
No, thank you.
Then let's get to Calabathian. And how did you get into Tolkien, LOTRO, and the LOTRO community?
I actually had the whole series of books. I got them at some random giveaway or something that someone had. It took me years to actually read them. And then the movies came out. Not because I'm a slow reader, of course. It just, I had so many books and, all this. But I got them in high school. And yeah, so by the time I got into college, and then I was just getting out of college, the movies had come out finally after that. And I fell in love with the movies to the point where I almost was like, okay, let's go become an actor. And, so it kind of spoke to me. But I really loved the movies. And after that, I found the back in the day before Standing Stone actually took over, when it was still yeah. I don't know. Can we say that without getting in trouble?
You can say Turbine.
Okay, but yeah, when it was still Turbine, I got into actually their other game, Dungeons and Dragons Online. But by doing that, I found LOTRO. And I got into LOTRO, and I liked it a whole lot better. And I will say that they can do whatever they want, but it's the truth. I'm just. Where's the lie?
Yes, but they're getting unicorns.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I got into LOTRO that way, and I actually met Terry that way. And we kind of, that was actually who got me into the LOTRO community as well, was, because I wasn't really active because of a lot of stuff. But yeah, finally she got me to I don't know, I guess stop being, what's the word, hermit, and and actually be nice and friendly to people and branch out a little bit. So that would be my story in a nutshell.
All right.
Terry strikes again.
Let's head into the game news then, and we will begin with the news that came from PAX East. And Squirrel wrote an article giving a summary of the stuff that was in there. He also gives a link to a video from Andang related to this. And I saw one from the actual event itself during the announcements that was posted by Druid's Fire, who recorded
Yeah,
the event.
There's a link to that at the top of the article, too.
Oh, all right. Because it didn't have the YouTube video showing in there, I didn't realize that It was linked
He
in
actually linked to the MMO Central article that Druid's Fire wrote.
there.
It does
Okay.
have the link. It does have the YouTube link to the video in there.
Okie dokie. So yes, we have that then. The announcements of what's going on in there, and
So excited.
yes,
Well, except for maybe the wedding. I don't
Yes.
know that I really want to do dailies about the wedding, especially if it has to do with Arwen in any way, shape, or form.
She's going to send us back and forth to Rivendell, isn't she?
I'm just not going to do it. I'm just,
Yeah.
no, not happening.
Here's the LOTRO timeline that they give. In the next few weeks is the thing that Sandsman is definitely not excited about.
It's not
And that'll
entirely
be-
true. I'm excited to know Shelob will be taken care of. Waiters.
She's just not going to be first in line to do it.
Right. Okay. Yes. You're hoping that with Sheila being killed in the raid, that it will mean the spiders will all suddenly die all throughout Middle Earth.
You know, that would be amazing. I'm not quite that optimistic, given the lack of flamethrowers already provided. I mean, not provided. But it would... Yeah, we'll see. I'll see how many spiders are in the raid before I decide how badly I want to gear up for it.
Well, I suspect that it'll be a large number of them.
That's my suspicion too, and I don't really like spiders.
Yeah.
And I don't have a lot of time for gearing up right now, and gearing up is a pain, so I might not. We'll see.
I see spiders ahead, maybe some Gribig, and perhaps some of those Udulodine.
Yeah.
That sounds right, but I don't like it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Also, let's not forget the bloodless goblins and orcs.
Oh yes, there's always that possibility also. But I have a feeling that while they were more than happy to try to unleash Shelob, that they weren't crazy enough to want to actually be around her.
They could still be like a first boss or something trying to keep you out. I haven't looked on Bullroar though, so I don't know what we're facing.
Oh, you do have a point there. That's always a possibility. Then in the summertime, probably around, I'm guessing they're going to try to get this as close to midsummer as possible, simply because that is the date in the books. And that is, of course, the wedding between Aragorn and Arwen.
I wonder if we will see yet another version of Minas Tirith.
Yes, that is a question. I think I heard someone ask that question about, is this meaning another version of Minas Tirith? And they didn't quite say straight out what was going on there or what they're going to do about that. Is that just going to be in an instance, or is that going to be a complete?
Well, even if it's an instance, it's still another version.
Right. One that has been cleaned up and already, because
cleaned up and prettified, and there's flowers and everything everywhere, and probably elves roaming the street.
Well, yes, because we do have Galadriel and
how do you know we aren't going to be involved with cleaning it up?
Well, maybe that's what the dailies are for.
I mean, we already started cleaning it up in After Battle Minas Tirith, didn't we? It would make sense for them to give us more work there. We'll see.
I think that there are plenty of hands in Minas Tirith in order to do that work.
That's true, but that doesn't stop them from saying, "Hey there, you're a really mighty hunter. Here's a mop. Can you use it too?" Or a pitchfork, or a barrel of water.
We can roll kegs of beer up the ramp.
Probably.
Just remember, they get lighter if you drink out of them.
Well, bonus points if they actually have the animation for us rolling the keg.
That would be cool. Double bonus
instead of
points
just carrying
if you're a hobbit and you try to roll the keg and it rolls back down.
Yeah, I was just trying to say a hobbit trying to roll a keg uphill. Then for for what they're planning on their update 26 and the rest of 2020 is going to be about orcs versus dwarves. We'll have the Legacy of Durin and the Trial of the Dwarves.
Which I sort of kind of called this when we were talking about the roadmap.
Yeah.
I did suggest it as a possibility.
Right. So the first of the areas I think we're supposed to go related to this would be the Flood Fells. And ultimately, of course, leading to the Hoping to Durin Starline. And, in the fall, we were also going to be having the part of his part in-game content, something called missions, is what they're planning for the scaling content for Durin Storyline, so that you don't have to be an in-game player in order to play these missions. We'll see what these missions are.
That sounds interesting.
Yes, but my history of some things when they scaled means that mission, if you're level 10, mission means mission impossible.
Well, I'm gonna say, I've seen a really cool run of Helm's Deep with level 10 characters.
I don't remember that being a very good one.
She didn't say it was good, she said it was cool.
Yeah.
Was it very short, though? Was it short, though?
No, we did a full run of Helm's Deep. It was a fellowship run of Helm's Deep at level 10.
And we
basically ended up like conga lining the soldiers running after us. It was pretty hilarious.
It was great. Maven was the head of the conga line, and yeah, we just ran them around until the
till the timer ended.
Soldiers killed
or that, yeah. Like the NPC stepped in, it was fine. We all mostly lived.
I think
we only lost one or two people.
Yeah. It was fun.
All right. And then in the spring of 2021, there is going to be an expansion, which I believe Terry Adwin called
Gundabad.
Gundabad. And I have a feeling that maybe in one of these, we could finally find out about the Fargathal.
That would be cool.
I know.
Dwarven Eldorado. Yeah. I totally want to find out about Dwarven Eldorado. I want Dwarven Eldorado to be a total myth, actually, and have like no basis in reality, or it's like somebody's dollhouse, like some dwarven child's dollhouse, and it's got like one mithril flake in it, and that's the origin for the Vargathal.
It would be kind of funny if it was some giant's dollhouse. I want it to exist, though. I think it would be pretty cool to find Dwarven Eldorado. I don't want to spend like years inside there, though.
Hey, I'm wondering, maybe Dwarven Eldorado is Gundabad.
Maybe.
I don't think so, because Gundabad isn't Gundabad Plains?
Is what?
I mean, it's Mount Gundabad. Never mind. but there's wargs and stuff there. But so the landscape isn't just mountains. It's it's like all of Middle Earth. It's not just mountains and hills. You have plains and trees and all that other fun stuff too.
Right.
So, I don't actually think that Gundabad is Fargathal.
Well, it was a thought of a possibility.
But I do want Gundabad to be better than than Goblin Town.
Then Goblin Town Part 1 or Goblin Town Part 2?
Both. Although I suspect we will see some similar architecture if it's orcs and goblins and orcs and dwarves. I want a warg pet. I want a cosmetic pet baby warg.
Cosmetic pet baby warg.
The baby warg.
Yeah, if they won't let me have a cosmetic pet spider, I want a cosmetic pet baby warg. It would be so cute.
Please, no cosmetic pet spiders. No. I'm all behind the baby wargs, though. That sounds cool.
All right. So that's the timeline that we've got currently posted on there. We'll see how well they're able to hold on to that. Then there was an announcement relating to Rohan Housing where, yes, they are intending those stables to be for mount display.
That's really awesome. And I want to know how many mounts we can stick in it, because if it's all of them, that's going to be amazing.
It'd be rather crowded if we're all of my mounts.
Yes, but did you see how big those stables are? All of my horses can fit in there.
Well,
you
if
put
I
some
buy
inside,
a
you put some outside.
All of your horses?
All of my horses.
I think we need a paddock the size of the one at Churchill Downs in order to hold all of mine.
All of Terry's horses, all of Sarissa's horses, done.
Okay.
Do we get to stack them on top of each other?
I don't know about that. I have a feeling that they're going to be horse hooks with a limited number of them.
But there is stable space outside, so I want to be able to display them outside as well as inside.
All right. I could just imagine within 3 days of the opening of the Western Rohan zone because this is supposed to come, they're scheduling the Rohan housing to come with the Western Rohan opening for the legendary service. They did confirm that.
Right.
That's the plan. So
like July.
Right. So I'm guessing late June or July or sometime around that time frame. So with that going on,
start buying your mithril now, people.
Yes, but start buying your meds because we are going to have a run on those houses also, I suspect. I said, wow, in only 1 week we ran out of instances for Rohan housing. Well, okay, that might be a slight exaggeration. Then there was some Q&A and some tidbits came out of there. The Mist of the Wilderlands, Floodfell, and Northern Lands of the War of the Three Peaks named for content updates. All right. Yes, someone inevitably asked about the Scouring of the Shire, and the predictable answer was, of course, not anytime soon, because we are still on the other side of the Misties of the Shire. We're just getting to the wedding.
I know. We've got all kinds of time before they go back to the Shire.
Right. And someone asked about server mergers on LOTRO, and they said there are no plans for server mergers on LOTRO. And I think part of this had to do with something that they were talking about for DDO, where apparently they're thinking of creating mega servers for DDO. So someone was asked, were they planning on something like that for LOTRO also? They said they currently have no plans on that matter. They
really need to play around with the servers any more than they already have.
Right. And there also is going to be a new spring festival elk that they're playing. They showed a picture of that. I didn't get a good look at that during the video. Maybe I'll see if I can get another look at that.
I got the impression it was in progress.
Yeah, a lot of things are in progress. Short-term and follow scroll for max level changes.
What is that?
I didn't quite catch that one either, so I don't know where that one came from. So obviously that's something that I missed when I was listening to the video. But that could be maybe some sort of stopgap thing when you...
So you're not spending 55 days in Minas Tirith?
That would be nice to not have to spend 55 days in Minas Tirith, or however many we're up to now.
Oh, we're up to now? I mean, I know it's more than 42. I just kind of touched on it.
It's more than 42 now. I don't know how much more it is. I did not do the math because I didn't want to be sad.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so there's that. And as for the legendary item revamp, it's planned. They're right now thinking of something similar to the sort of a socketed system, as what I'm trying to think of, instead of remodeling the existing, it's going to something with sockets.
They have sockets now, and it still doesn't work.
Well, when I said Sockney, I know that's what they wrote here. I was trying to make the right word. The sockets that you have in the
When you have your
armor.
settings now.
Yeah, sort of similar to the armor sockets is what they're thinking of, going to that type of thing.
Please don't make it an extra grind like Essence Grind.
Oh God, no. I mean, if that's going to be the case, then you got to be able to start at level 50 and not keep having to rebuild the weapon every couple levels, because that's going to just be obnoxious.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the Essence Grind is bad enough. Like,
yeah.
Let us pick and choose our legacies. I wish being able to pick legacies was better. I wish it wasn't random. And like when you reforge, you can pick one and then you can try and put it on a weapon, or nope, you can't actually put it on this weapon.
Right. That was the word I wanted.
Aggravating.
Essences. Yeah, I think they're planning on basing it on the essence system.
As long as it's an improved version
of the essence system.
Of the essence system, because the essence system, I mean, the essence system was great when it first came out, but now it's just gotten so clunky and grindy and awful.
It takes a lot of work to get one good essence now.
Yes.
And no. Trying to get enough to raid right now, it's so not worth it for spiders for me.
Well, there is that.
I haven't even looked at gear since, I mean, I did the essence grind back in Dol Amroth for Terry, and I refused to do it for Mordor. Sans and Maven kind of ganged up on me and told me what to buy and helped put my gear together so that I would be tier 1 ready for tier 1 raid ready for the story run of the Abyss. And that was the last raid that I did in the game. Because I haven't done the... It was great. It's a good story. And actually, Saragost isn't awful. Nearband is still a pain. And I ran it twice. The second time was not really under protest because I did it as I was helping Andang out when I ran it the second time. But it was, and both times it was just for pages.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we wouldn't have been in there at all because it's a horrible instance.
Some nasty things there. And someone actually asked on the forums can they have a solo duo version of the Shelob raid?
And that answer was no.
Yeah, that's pretty much the answer. Yes,
not happening.
We're talking Shelob here.
They've never done a solo duo version of any of the raids.
Right. And
sorry.
I mean, technically, they do the raid bosses in the festival things, but that's not the same thing as doing like the whole raid as a solo duo.
Right.
To be
we
fair,
can't all
the essence grind thing, as Doralyn points out, who is a raider, it's not that bad really. Only thing that really stinks is getting the shards, but that's been the issue since Lothlorien. True. Essences you can craft easy enough if you have the shards, and if you have the universal solvents, I might add. So.
Okay, Mary Rose says, Shelob was killed by a duo of Sam and Sword of Frodo. Why not in-game? Well, first of all, Shelob wasn't killed. I think that she wouldn't be around bugging us if she were killed. She was chased away.
Well, we can't all be Samwise Gamgee.
True.
She was hurt, and I think the book says something like, whether she nursed back her strength to try to take over the world again, or died in pain, nobody knows. So,
well, it looks like soon we'll know.
So, yeah, hopefully she's dying in this raid. Kill Shelob!
Yeah. Apparently, nobody bothered telling Frodo and Sam about the raid against Shelob. Probably they didn't want to hear about it again, so it didn't make it into the Red Book. That's it for for that little bit on the Apex thing. So let's head into Borer patch notes. So, of course, another little update there where this week, once again, they had, of course, preview of the Net of Darkness, which people were checking out. And usual stuff in there. Captain's trait Honorable Blow now works properly. And as for items, raid armor is available at the Isengard, usual thing. And Honorian pet food now pulls correct stats for level 100 items. Discrepancies between crafted legendary weapons and scaled legendary weapons have been rectified. And the sealed Itzel runes of striking, enchantment, and binding offered for barter in the White Company Quartermaster and his Stolen Blonde now correctly binds on acquire. Then, the next bit of news is that crafting carryalls are now back in the LOTRO store, and they are now a permanent feature there.
Yay!
Woohoo! Yay! Yes. Now, I did ask during the weekly Stream by Court event whether or not we would see any task carryalls anytime in the near future. And I get the impression that he wasn't sure what the situation is, but maybe sometime in the future, but no definitive answers there on any timeline for those.
Even if they attach them to points purchases again, that would be sweet. Because money, money, money.
Yeah, I'd
They
like
are
to see
handy
some...
enough that I will throw my money at Standing Stone.
I would buy more.
Just saying.
I guess because I'm a lifer, I don't...
Well, yeah, you have like points for days.
Yes.
As opposed to, the task carryalls were tied to point purchases, so you had to spend money on the game, which means they really are making money on the task carryalls. And
right.
Yeah, that was a smart move, and I really hope they do it again because I will totally throw my money at Standing Stone in order to get a task carryall.
Then let's send it to LOTRO Beacon issue 150.
Yeah.
150. And on top, we have something that looks a little Minas Morgul-ish, if you ask me. Actually, where's that from could be from one of the instances in there.
I can't tell if that's one of the Minas Morgul instances or if it's somewhere in Mordor, but I know that's definitely a Darkwater.
Yeah, that's definitely Darkwater-ish. Then let's send it to the community spotlight. LOTRO Vids is back with another 8K remastering. This time they remastered the Mines of Moria trailer. Earlier they had done the Shadows of Angmar trailer. So
this is a great video too.
So perhaps we'll be seeing a few more in the future. Then Krindle has created a tank class comparison to help you decide which class is best for you, and you can check that out there.
No surprise to anybody, Champion came in at the bottom of the list.
At the bottom of the list?
Oh yeah, bottom of the list. Even Warden scored higher as a tank than Champions.
Ooh, that was that.
Well, Champion aggro is difficult to manage if you don't know how to do it, and they really do not make good tanks.
Yeah.
So if you can get yourself a proper tank, get yourself a proper tank. If you absolutely can't find a proper tank, then a champion with blue line who actually knows how blue line works needs to set the reminder that everybody needs to be on their target because champions build aggro by getting hit in the face.
Yeah, there is that. So, see, passive physical mitigations is won by the Bjornings. Passive tactical mitigation won by the Bjornings and champions. Buffed physical mitigation is won by the Bjornings.
And Dorlan says, well, sorry you're not a tank, but you can kill everything better than anyone. That is not true, because the bears do that better than champions too.
Yeah.
Stupid bears.
Buffed tactical mitigation is won by the Guardians. Physical mitigation rating buffs looks like is shown won by the War, and Bjorning scored a 0 in that one. Tactical mitigation rating buffs that seems to be the specialty for the Wardens. Avoidance rating buffs.
So you should point out
Yeah,
that with the
I never.
tactical mitigation rating buffs, the champion scored the 0 for that one.
Yeah, you are right. The champion scored a 0 for that one. Now, for me though, on the Wardens, I always forget about. I think the physical mitigation, tactical mitigation, and avoidance rating buffs. Those are the skills I often forget to use. So I keep on forgetting that those are a thing.
Okay, so Pineleaf as a warden tank and me as a champion tank, the numbers would be reversed basically.
Yes. The critical defense rating buffs that's another one that's won by the Wardens that I probably never use. Damage reduction.
That once again, champions have 0.
Yeah, champions have 0. While no, actually, what damage reduction? Oh no, you meant the critical defense rating buffs.
Yep.
Yeah. Now the damage reduction is that's for the Bjornings and the Wardens score 0. The captains win that one. Morale bonus, captains win and Guardians lose. So showing all sorts of numbers oh boy, there are a lot more numbers after that. So yes, all sorts of.
Yeah, it's very detailed.
It is pretty detailed. All right, I think I'm not going to read any more of that, but you get the idea there. The different tanks shine in different areas, and Guardians are specialists in tanks, so they tend to do well in most of the areas. And I have a feeling that the ones they don't do well in are probably mitigated by other things. So that's what's going on in there. Then back to our beacon. Then Gurdiyishi is looking for people interested in creating a play. Ooh. And starting a journey to perform plays. That's an interesting thing to check out. And is that in any specific one, or is this going to be moving from server to server? Probably didn't name a particular. Yes, that's under community, social, and player events. So it is not given a specific server on this. My main playtime is Middle European, and I'm fine with English and in German. Oh, currently playing on Ithil, but for events, no problem to hop over anywhere. All right. There you go. And the Daft Willows Soul Orchestra performs on March 7th on Larlin.
That is next Saturday.
It is next Saturday.
Or this coming Saturday if you're listening to the show after it's been recorded.
All right. Dorlin says, but I would rather have a guard, cappy, warden, champ for tanking in that order. And
ooh, Dorlin
so
rates my hunter higher than a bear for DPS. Alongside a runekeeper, but
okay.
For melee, Dorlin would much rather have a champ than a bear for DPS. Was the part that was down just a little bit further.
All right. Then let's head to the Kin Hall. The Kinship Raging Raiders on Arkansas recently completed a Tier 5 run of the Fallen Kings and put a video up on YouTube. Perhaps my way of seeing the Shelob raid is going to be through a video on YouTube.
That might be mine as well.
Are you going to have the stomach to watch a spider raid?
I might just listen.
Now let's go into our weekly comment. What is the most useful item in Middle-earth?
The horn that summons my war steed.
Oh, yes, you love those war steeds.
I do. The best part about
Suicide
Bull
horse
Roar
to the
is
wind.
getting them at level 5 as you should.
You can get a war steed at level 5 on Bull Roar?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the best part of Bull Roar.
How
I
they
mean,
handle...
Bull Roar is typically awesome, but I really love getting that war steed at level 5 and killing them.
How do they handle the skills then?
You get them. I mean, your war steed still has to level up and stuff.
Okay.
It's not like a fully leveled war steed that they give you.
Well, there is that. All right. Anyone else have anything they wish to add?
Well, there's so many useful things. It's hard to pick the most useful one.
Yes? What about you, Gorindus?
I'm ashamed to admit that I think mithril coins so that I don't have to fight all the way back across the landscape full of enemies when I'm a low level is a great thing to turn it back.
I second that.
I mean, if traveling rations were still a thing for hunter ports, then that would totally be on the list of useful, really super useful items. But hunter ports.
Yes, even on hunters, I sometimes am tempted to use the mithril.
Just don't do it up the stairs in Thorin's Hall.
Oh no.
Poor Gussie Moose.
Yeah, I still give Gussie Moose, when I drop into Gussie's stream, I still give her a hard time. She once ported from Farron's Court up to the top of the stairs with a mithril coin.
While on a hunter.
While on a hunter who has the port to Thorin's Hall.
That was hilarious.
That is a bit of a strange thing to do.
Oh,
yes.
You should see me freaking out. I'm like, are you serious? I mean, don't get me wrong. I just burned through a bunch of mithril coins on my lore master, but I'm the first person to, if it's not a new zone where it costs you 5 mithril to port places, I will more than happily spend mithril to get places I either need to be and don't have pocket hunter, or return skill, or stable that I haven't unlocked yet. Mithril coin it is, but I mean, up the freaking stairs in Thorin's Hall.
Okay. Yes. Calabathian, do you have anything that you think is most useful?
Oh, let me see. I have this trouble too because there are so many ones. I have trouble figuring out which one I find the most useful. Other than the mithril coins, I've never actually ported up some stairs with one. It's what kind of actually gets me about that is that usually it says that, when you're porting that, you're too close. But with the coins, it's like, I don't guess that works that way. And I'm like,
it does with the mithril
does?
coin. Yeah, if you're too close, but it was far enough away that it didn't give the too close warning. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's that corner. She was doing the anniversary quest, and there's the dwarf out in the courtyard in Farron's Court that you give ale to, and then the next dwarf you have to talk to is in the inn in Thorin's Hall. So she used a mithril and not realizing. I think she was thinking it was going to take her directly to the inn, not realizing it was going to basically at the top of the stairs, which is where you pour it into if you're on. And I started freaking out at her in chat.
Poor Gussie.
But no, I really have no idea. I think everybody's pretty much said mine.
Well, I think the first thing that's come to my mind on this is what I thought would be Terry Adwin's, and that is a carry-all.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, those
I
are
mean, the
super
carry-alls
useful.
are super useful, especially since I bought more of them. Now, the back in the store, I bought more.
Yeah.
But I mean, don't get me wrong, I love my carryalls, but I don't know that they're the most useful thing.
Well,
Because the carryalls just carry stuff; they don't do things for you. Like
I
my
mean,
swords are more useful.
give me a lot of extra space for when
Because
the
Shing Shing.
Travel Now said, "You don't have space to do that." I was like,
Yeah.
"Don't have space to travel? What?" That was funny.
Actually, I think I know what. I think I have a suggestion for Sans Winda.
Oh,
The File of Galadriel.
that is probably the most useful item in Middle Earth, but I don't have access to it on a regular basis.
Well, yes, there is that. You need to go to Celeborn and ask him if he could arrange for you to get a star glass.
Celeborn, I really need a star glass so that I can take it on all of these adventures that keep involving spiders that they keep sending me on. I just want to carry it everywhere with me, please. I know everybody will be able to see me from miles away, but it should scare off the spiders.
Excuse me, sir. Can I borrow your flash?
Exactly.
Yes, and it could be it would have been a nice quest reward for that time when for that time we put all those star glasses inside of
Right? Like, here's an extra one. You can keep it, but no.
Yeah, I only made enough to put into Shelob's lair. Yes.
Maybe there's more for the raid. I guess that might be something that we can mean to do the raid is you get this glass that you can take wherever there are spiders and they'll run away from you.
Oh, great raid reward. Yes.
Now Sans will do the raid.
Yes. All right. Anyone else have any suggestions? And actually, let's see if chat has anything there. Well, Dorlin says probably top tier food and tokens. Well, yes, top tier food is also very useful, seeing how I have a top tier cook. So, yeah,
And the
that
tokens
is
are
very
pretty
useful.
useful too, because dread can really hurt.
Yeah, there is that.
I mean, I guess technically it's whatever hits you that hurts. You're just down to maybe half of your morale by the time it hits you. If you're not being careful.
It makes you more vulnerable to damage too.
Yeah. In fact, that's one of my favorite things that I have on my characters. So the promotional items. Of all the promotional items, my favorite is that Starglass that gives you +1 hope.
You have the star glass, but it doesn't work against spiders?
No, it's only a +1 hope.
Lame.
So
okay,
it's
I
not
need a
as
better
good.
star glass.
It's not as good as tokens because tokens are a lot better than that, but it's good when you're going all around questing by yourself and all those pesky mobs that have exactly +1 dread, and they are pretty common in some places because fell spirits inevitably have a +1 on them for that +1 dread, and just canceling that out without having to worry about burning a token for it.
Fair.
Obviously, if you're going to get something with like a Nazgul, you need a good +5 token for that.
Or +6.
Or +6, yes. And then with the book the hobbits get when they are doing Town of That, gives them a +1 hope for an hour.
Yeah, but see, the tokens are better because the tokens you can share with your fellow.
No. This is, well, the thing about the book, yes, the book, while it's only a +1, it's a +1 that's stackable with any other hopes that you've got. And so therefore, if you're fighting a mob that, if you're going to get a +6 token, plus that, +7, so if you're facing a +7 dread enemy, then nice.
I don't know if I even kept that book, though.
What? You don't keep that book?
I don't know if I kept the book or not. I was so mad.
Oh, I have it on a hot bar.
I might
I
have
never
kept it.
use them.
Yeah.
I mean, do you keep the hope if you take off the book? Or is it like only applied while you have the book equipped?
No. It's a 1 hour.
Yeah, the book isn't actually
Once every 24 hours.
equipment thing. It's like
the
it's not a
book of
pocket item. It's like a
Fireside
consumable that you don't.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a clicky. Once every 24 hours, you could click on the book, and it'll give you 1 hour.
Okay, so I might still have it somewhere.
Yeah. And as for our fan site news, the Gleaming Thread is a cosmetic outfit blog and has created a new with the Sentinel of Hithaglir, and you can check that out. Did you? I presume you've looked at it, Terry?
Yeah. There's no story with it. I kind of wish there was a story with it.
And looks like a umber and white mostly, with a little bit of walnut brown there. Now, how hard is walnut brown? Is I think around Minas Tirith or something? Is that the tier where walnut is, or is that
No, walnut is
Rohan?
Rohan.
Yeah, okay, Rohan. Yeah, okay. Well, walnut is Rohan. Umber is very early. I think it's probably one of the first ones you get.
And
White
white is pretty early too.
Yeah, right. But as you said, no story behind it, so that is Terry's suggestion for this story. The Fibro Jedi has created a quick start guide for the Ill Omen skirmish event. And it's telling you what you need to do in order to go in there and give you some example harbingers of death. How do the Ill Omens work? First thing, you need to be level 20 plus, probably because in order to do it, you've got to find a skirmish camp. I mean, you've got to be able to do skirmishes before you can do it, of course.
Yeah, you got to be level 20.
Very well. And it says, what level do I need to do skirmishes at? You need to reasonably close to your level, not gray mobs. So that's sort of the thing.
And actually, to complete this event, because I think isn't the Rescue at Nurse Gashu one of the quests too?
Rescue Nurse Gashu. Yeah, Rescue Nurse Gashu. So
yeah, so level 65 if you're looking to do all of them, but you probably get away with it in the 50s after you've unlocked the Moria skirmishes.
Right. Now, if you are too low level for a certain group of skirmishes, then I don't think I've taken a low level character to it yet, but I've heard that you're given a skirmish set that is within your level.
Oh,
range.
Okay.
So you can finish it. Of course, you can't do the deeds that are related to doing all those skirmishes. And there's one deed, for example, to defeat all the harbingers. But some of the harbingers only appear in certain skirmishes.
Right.
So that means you'll be able to do skirmishes, be able to kill the harbingers,
so you can get the whatevers.
Right, get the tokens and all that stuff, but you won't be able to finish the deeds related that require you to do some of those higher ones in there. So that's the thing. And the other thing to note is those harbingers hit hard. So beware of that. Don't take your squishiest character on there trying to do Harbinger solo. That's all I got to say about that. Or at least I wouldn't do it, but someone's going to go and show me by taking the squishy. Which class is squishiest right now? Or is it the Runekeepers or somebody else?
I think it is the Runekeepers.
All right,
Vote Keeper.
So I could just imagine someone showing videos of their Runekeeper soloing red Harbingers, and I'm going to sit there wondering, okay, how did they do this? Northern Pride's February concert is now on YouTube. And last week, we apparently ate sad purple cookies.
Because of our Purple Gloom Cookies title.
Yes.
I didn't eat them, though. Ancient Evil is not breakfast, or lunch, or dinner, or food.
Right. Ancient Evil, not what's for breakfast? Okay. And LOTRO Stream is your first stop to find LOTRO on Twitch. This week, you'll find recent shows on Winnie's Musings, Wayward Plane, and our newest stream team member, Eternal War 327. Also on Twitch, Geekbite does a talk through Wooden Potatoes and starts a new series, and Stina runs featured instances and more. And over on YouTube, Dwelling plays songs on a loop. Nick Gaming explains essences and ending looks for the story timeline and talks about what is left. Right. And one little bit of news in there is that the weekly restarts have been moved to Wednesdays, or as Cordovan joked is, if you want to guarantee that we'll never be able to do an update that we'll never have updates on Wednesdays again, just move the weekly restarts to Wednesday. Because the joke was when they had them on Tuesdays, it was never actually on Tuesday because of updates or something like that. Now, our screenshot of the week. Mithrilius faces a real threat on this week's screenshot. Thanks for sending this screenshot from the Fall of Moria instance. And we have a fun little screenshot of Durin's Bane.
You know, the last time I saw that image in the instance, I failed the instance. So I'm really impressed right now.
Well,
I mean, I don't know for sure that they didn't fail the instance.
That's entirely possible that they did, because that's awfully close to failing the instance. Because I'm pretty sure you can't. Dwarves are not natural sprinters, despite the comment we had last week.
Yeah,
and you can't really turn around and run all that fast away from that Balrog.
Yes, so I'm guessing that the person decided, cool screenshot trumps completing the instance.
Well, you know, it is a optional instance. You don't have to do it.
Right. There is that.
We talked about session plays last week. This is definitely a much better session play than the Angmar one.
You still have to move really slow, and then they all stand there and watch you as you, like, try to kill these things.
Yeah.
Oh, they are... we talked about last week that they are nerfing some of the mobs in instances, and they did specifically say that this is one of these instances where they will be doing that.
Cool.
That's good.
I mean,
So
unless
you
they
don't
nerf
take
the
5
Balrog
years.
and you run up to it, but I don't think they would do that.
No, they're not going to nerf the Balrog.
But those things that you have to fight before, what are they? The things that are
cave
always
claws.
in the caves, yeah.
Yeah, cave claws. So, yes. The cave claws they nerfed, yes. Now let's head into our store sales. And Terry Edwin, what's on sale this week?
Let's see. Our weekly coupon gets you a free universal ingredient pack with the coupon code UNICRAFT now through March 5th. And we have Friends of Radagast, which means you get 25% off select pets and kites, select housing items, select mounts, now through March 5th.
Whee! So let's then head into our site news, where we have where in Middle-earth is Emeraldina number 44, and Emeraldina.
Remember, don't tell the answer if you know where it is.
Yeah, all right. And as for the previous post, that was Gandalf's room in the Prancing Pony. All right, that answers the question on exactly where that was. And in this, yeah, I'm not going to mention where it's at because there's only one place I can think of that this gets
It's
deleted.
another springy location, though, I have been told.
Is it another springy location?
Yes.
Cinders bouncing on beds in Middle-earth.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what makes it particularly springy other than possibly the bed.
It might only be the bed. I don't
Okay.
know. Yeah.
Very well.
There's a dragon head on the wall.
It could be her outfit that makes it springy, for all I know.
Yeah, I think she's referring to the fact that she's still dressed in Shire Plum.
And she's still jumping around, so she's still springing.
Yeah, she is still being a little springy in there. And I guess I guess tomorrow is, at least for the Northern Hemisphere, the first day of meteorological spring, if it's not quite astronomical spring yet, but tomorrow will be meteorological spring. Boy, am I tripping over that word. Let's move on then. And head into our new player question. What's the question this week?
The question this week is, how do you unlock or acquire new races or classes? Brought to you by my nephew, who says, I want to be a stout axe. How do you do
that? You want to be a stout axe? Well, let's see.
They are awesome dwarves.
You could buy the expansion that the stout axes came with.
That would work.
That would work. The second way I can think of is buy it from the LOTRO. Now, I don't think that stout axes, are they in the LOTRO store yet? Or
I don't think so. Not until the expansion goes into the store, which I think is supposed to be March.
Right, and tomorrow's the first day of March, so we're getting close. We're at least within a month.
So say you want to be a Bjorning.
Yeah.
You just buy the expansion with the Bjornings?
Well, no, for Bjornings you would just pay LOTRO points.
Yeah, LOTRO points for that one.
Okay. High Elves?
Same with High Elves. And I believe that the Stout Axe is supposed to be available for purchase after the expansion hits the LOTRO store.
Right. Because that would
separate from the expansion.
Yeah.
For people who, for whatever reason, don't actually want to buy Minutes Morgul, can just buy the Stout Axe.
Maybe they don't like dealing with spiders.
I don't blame them. There are a lot of spiders in the Morgul area.
And as for new classes, let's see. Runekeepers and Wardens will be purchasable in the store.
Yeah, and also technically Bjornings, because Bjorning is both race and class.
Yeah. So yes, essentially you get them in the LOTRO store, or if it's associated with an expansion that's not yet hit the store, then you get it by buying the expansion. So let's head into our week in LOTRO. And Guarendis, what were you up to?
Several things this past week. My main, Guarendis, is managing to get closer and closer to the Black Gate in the Wastes. I did manage to not get killed going up the hill after Faramir, the Accursed Spirit, sent me, or not Faramir, Faramir, the Accursed Spirit, sent me up there, just barely. I was paying attention. I did go roving threat hunting this week, though, in Forakel, and got that deed cleared out thanks to Sanswinda. I had a moment of weakness, though. I wanted to make sure that I had full pages on my character slots, so I bought a new one, and I thought, well, I only bought one, so I bought 6 more, and now I have 7 new character slots I haven't used.
Woohoo!
The alcoholism continues.
Spending way too much time with Sans.
I went marauding in the Misties with Girls of Middle Earth and managed to get separated from the group after we were all lost and had missed the road anyway, and had my own conga line following me and got dismounted, but did manage to survive.
All right. And Kilabathian, what did you do?
Oh, what did we do? Again, because I was a little hermit before, my first experience adventuring with a group, Terry and Sans and some of the others were, I think, we went to Dinen. You know me, I can't pronounce anything.
Yeah, Duldinen.
Yeah, Duldinen. We were all hunters, I think, in the group.
Yep.
Yeah, and almost all of us were elves of some kind, almost. And we went over this cliff as we were going, and we all just landed, crunch, crunch, crunch. And we kind of came out behind our thing, and we were all like limping with our arms down to the side, like, oh Lord. And and we were just all really bad hunters at that time, and limping as we went, which was hilarious. I then attempted at some point today to solo the Forsaken in Riddles instance as my hunter. There were runes. I can't read them as a hunter, and so I got stuck, and I could not go through because I, couldn't read the runes to figure out, where who to kill first in the sarcophagi. And so it was either turn around and go back through all this stuff, or die and reset. And I chose the latter because why not? But that was very annoying. That was very, very annoying. I kind of wanted to stab something in the eye. But also, during the Duldinen instance, that was when I discovered that there is such a thing as a really tasty, delicious person everywhere in a group that the enemies will focus on, to the extent where it's like, am I wearing some kind of like neat perfume? And that would be my Celevorn, elf hunter. He's tasty and delicious to the enemy. It was an eventful week.
Mm-hmm. Sanswinda, what did you do?
Well, I ventured into Goblin Town with the Girls of Middle Earth, and I was totally lost the whole time. I think we might have all been lost the whole time, though.
That's Goblin Town by definition, isn't it?
Maybe. I hear Terry knows her way around.
I
but
do.
She wasn't with us. But yeah, we brought death and destruction throughout Goblin Town with
Just
only a
kill it
few
all, you'll be
conga
fine.
lions. So, yeah, that was fun. And it's always fun to travel with the girls on our burglars anyway, just because it's just a bunch of floating names walking around, and then something goes and dies. And then I went roving threat hunting in Forakel with Gwendis and in Mirkwood with Emerlina. And that was pretty satisfying, having those giant enemies just funk to the ground after a little bit. And I was really impressed with Emerlina's tanking skills. She's a guardian, and it has been about 24 levels since I last went roving threat hunting with her. And it might have been even more than that. It might have been like 26 or 27 levels. And she held aggro. I took Sanswinda, my hunter. She held aggro and kept the roving threats from stomping on me. So I could just stand and pew pew, and it was very weird, but cool. So, yeah, that was pretty cool. And yeah, we missed one of the Mirkwood roving threats though, because I don't know if they just did not spawn, or if they like tried to spawn in a waterfall, or what was going on with that. But
probably the waterfall thing, because that is a known issue.
that's kind of what we were thinking, because we checked everywhere really thoroughly, and the waterfall was the most, like, it was like the last place to check, and nothing.
Yeah.
So hopefully sometime this week we can go back and get that one so we can finish out that deed. And I finally started Moria on Anor. Well, that's not entirely true. I like walked into Moria when it first came out on Anor, but it was so full of people that I was like, I'm not gonna get anything done here, and I logged out, and then I like just logged back in today and was like, oh yeah, I can do this. So I got to the Chamber of the Crossroads, and I did a lot of quests in between, but yeah, officially in the Chamber of the Crossroads now in Moria, so that was pretty good.
I forgot that you had anyone on Honor.
Yeah, I have a whole bunch. I actually said hi to you today, Pineleaf and Kinchap, but I don't think you were paying any attention.
Oh, well.
It's okay. I'm not at all offended. I figured you were probably doing a stream or something, but
I was probably recording something at the time, because I was doing a lot of recording this morning.
Terry Adam, how was your week?
Terry did the quest in the first circle of minutes. A couple weeks ago, we opened up all the actually like 3 weeks ago, but we didn't actually do any of the quests. So we went back and started Minas Morgul questing. So circle, which involved killing lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and more lots of orcs. So many orcs. And it's funny because I always laugh when we're doing the quest text, because it's like, really? This is all the orcs? You realize we're going to kill all of the orcs. You don't want to set this number? Yeah, it's like kill 10 orcs. Okay, we're going to do that in the first 5 minutes, and then we're still going to kill like 20 more, and you're not going to give us credit for those. Yeah, so we got to the second tower and decided to log off for the day. I missed Girls of Middle-earth yet again, because family has conspired to keep me away from Girls of Middle-earth, although not tomorrow, because it's not a girls' week tomorrow. Next week, I should be able to make girls, because dinner has to be earlier in the day. So
Yay.
They shouldn't call me for dinner right when it's time to start girls.
Yay!
Aggravating. So I caught the last 15 minutes or so this week of Girls of Middle-earth, and then I was part of the Hunter Pack in Duldinan, which is extremely entertaining. I was the lone not elf in the group. we had 2 high elves and a regular elf, and my woman hunter. Some yellow line, some blue line, some red line. It was rainbow, tasty rainbow. But after that, I decided that I didn't really want to do the duo hunter thing with Celeborn, so I dusted off my lore master to run alongside Celeborn, which involves going back and Celeborn was nice enough to come back and redo stuff he'd already done to help the lore master accomplish it, because my lore master skipped all of that and went up to Evendim, because this is the character that ran around with my mother when we did North Cotton Farms like ages ago. That lore master that I haven't played in forever. Yeah, he got a dusting off, and then I decided that they could really use some assistance, like food and some tokens and things, and yay for carry-alls, because I did crafting rounds on my cook and my jeweler, because I had to make tokens, and I bought 3 more carry-alls because they're in the store and I can. While searching for mats, I dusted off another old character. I had my roomkeeper Lucillian out and ran through the Barrow Downs.
Yay,
Because I was
Lucillian!
well, okay, so she has no ports to anywhere because she was running with a pocket hunter. She had no reason to pick up like rep ports for anything. She didn't get the reps, she didn't get the ports, nothing. There was no reason for it because she was running with pocket hunter. So the only place she could really get to was Rivendell. So I ported back to Rivendell, and from there I went to Southbury, and I'm like, well, you know what? I needed gold. In the southern part of the Barrow Downs, I know that there's a couple of expert nodes, the gold and the rich iron and yada yada. So then I happened to pull up her deed log for Bree, and she's finished all of she metadated Aaron Lewin, she metadated the Shire, and she had done all of Bree except for like 4 things, and they were all in the Barrows. So I said, well, I'm just going to go through and finish out these deeds. So she's been traded to Yellow Line, and because standing around waiting for inductions to happen was not a thing I really wanted to do. And I traded her for Yellow Line forever ago and haven't really played it. So I basically ran through the Barrow Downs, zotting everything in sight. One shot, zot. Like, I don't even think she even stopped. I ran through that one really long one with the Barrow Wardens and the Barrow Spirits, the Hoth the Archith, or whatever it's called. And I basically just ran circles through that, and I don't even she stopped after she completed the circle to give stuff time to start respawning, and then she'd just take off running again, because you can zot stuff on the move as a lightning runekeeper. It's just zot, 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 and everything dies.
Isn't that so much fun?
It is so much fun. I haven't had that much fun playing the Runekeeper in forever, because her actual questing tier is in Minas Tirith, where she's really squishy and stuff goes splat. She goes splat. Stuff doesn't go splat. She goes splat. So yeah, being able to run through the Barrow Downs and just kill everything was extremely satisfying. And then I spent way too much money on the auction house buying the mats that I didn't actually get in the Barrow Downs. I made tokens. I weirdly did not pick up any Barrow Brie. I think I ran around that place for 45 minutes, killing things. So many Barrow Wardens. Because she had to finish both tiers of the Barrow Warden deed and both tiers of the Spirit deed. Did not get a single piece of Barrow Brie.
Yeah, you've got to have really good luck with the RNG on a day to get that. I've gotten
Seriously,
it 3
they need
times
to
once in one run.
Up the drop.
But most of the time, I don't get any.
I mean, her title is The Wise, but
so it's avoiding you.
I guess maybe I should change the title when I go through.
Maybe. She was running with somebody titled The Unwise, so it fit.
Yes, so they were the wise and the unwise, because Sans was the. But yeah, that was my week. Pineleaf, how was yours?
I was just trying to think of when you were trying to get to the Barrow Downs, why you didn't try porting to your housing neighborhood and taking a stable from there.
Because I always forget that the housing neighborhoods.
Oh, well, there is that. All right, let's go into it. On Honor, my warden helped a bumbling fellowship in Eastern Rohan, and which includes a lore master who has the cutest little fog guardian you've ever seen. Then my burglar arrived in Adoras.
Wow, that's come a lot.
Yeah.
Is that a video character, your burglar?
Yeah.
That's a lot of progress, because I seem to recall the last time you talked about the burglar, it was back in Mirkwood.
Well, there's a possibility I haven't talked about her too much, but yes, Mirkwood is when I resumed that character. Now, this character is only going up to Western Rohan because this character was created for the primary purpose of doing bingo.
Oh.
This was my original bingo boffin character, but when I came to the conclusion that there was absolutely no way I was going to, on a burglar, level up to the weekly rate needed in order to keep track with the original releases, I switched characters to finish off that series and had to make an excuse on how come my burglar had suddenly turned into a hunter. And it was right on the name change, the quest where Spalvey changes his name. So I have Spalvey giving her new name because she went around because she was suddenly learning how to shoot a bow. So that's sort of the weird thing that I did on that. And then on Friday Night Fight, we ran 4 skirmishes. The first 3 were Moria skirmishes for the Harbingers event. So we started out with the deep way, thinking, all right, let's do the deep way. We're going into there. We kill the Harbinger. Everything's going nice and fine. And looks like during the boss fight, Spalvey, not Spalvey, the dwarf's morale went from looking in pretty good shape to dead instantly. Thanks a lot.
Ouch.
Thank you, Broger. Yeah, sure, right. So Broger died there. But our primary goal was to do the Harbinger, so all right, fine. We got the Harbinger at least. So then we went into the Way of Smiths. So in the Way of Smiths, the left side, the left doors opened up for the first half instead of the right doors, and when that happens, it's a real pain. Because now you have to figure out what are you going to do about the Harbinger, because the Harbinger pops up right in the middle of a right side of one of the right side spawn areas. And do you really want to be fighting against the Harbingers at the same time as a new wave of mobs? So we decided, all right, we will go. Right. So we decided.
I know. I'm like, why not?
So we decided to attack the Harbinger immediately as soon as the first assault ended to avoid the risk of us getting a northern forge item in there, which was going to force us to fight the Harbinger there anyway, just with the extra ads. And we get there, and apparently no one thought about collecting the mobs when they spawned in to the... which I believe they spawned into the Western Forge. So we're going on there, we kill the Harbinger, and right when the Harbinger goes down, that's when we get the message that the dwarf fell too. Because all those mobs killed the dwarf there, and then they went up the platform and killed Stotgeld. So it's like, okay. All right, so there's a 2-2. We got the Harbingers, we killed the dwarves. Then to the Battle of the 21st Hall. And at least that time when the Harbinger came up, there's a quest ring on top of Wheelie, so we don't have to worry about that little problem. So we killed the Harbinger, we talked to Wheelie, we went on and did the finish thing, and you'll think that with 6, we would have trouble with that boss fight, but we actually managed to win that one without Wheelie dying. And Wheelie is the one that I've lost more often than any of the others.
Wait, were you running Scrades with 6 people?
No, we're running...
Okay.
No, we're running 6 fellowship levels.
Just checking.
Skirmishes. Okay. Yeah. But, alright, so we finished that up and completed the 3. The Harbingers are tough enough at the right size. I don't want to bump it up to the raid level ones. Then after that, we decided, all right, we'll relax and do Attack at Dawn. So we ran Attack at Dawn, and finished that off without any real trouble. And that was our week. We currently have 13 supporters on Patreon. If you'd like to join this illustrious raid of players and help support LOTRO players, simply go to the donations page where you can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. And we did not receive any emails this week. If you'd like to send one, you can send it to podcast@LotraPlayers.com. And you can also follow us on Twitter, the Players Alliance @PlayersAlliance, LotraPlayers @LotraPlayers, Arendis @Arendis, Panif @PanifNews, Sendwin @Sendwin, and Terry Edwin @Terry Edwin. And as for our guest, Arendis, where can they contact you?
I am at Nidashell on Twitter.
At Nanashell on Twitter. And what about Calabathian?
Okay. I don't actually have a Twitter. But yeah, contacting me. Yell really loud.
Oh, right.
I'll have to work on that one.
Yeah. Don't worry. I went, I think, the first year of this podcast without a Twitter account. So therefore, the only reason why I have one is because of the show. The Players Alliance has 2 shows on Mondays at 7 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. We have DDO Players News, and on Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have LOTRO Players News. You can join us for our shows at LOTROPlayers.com/live. And that's all for tonight. And this is Panic News reminding you to skirmish responsibly.